Joseph is ill today and unable to join us, but he does send his best wishes to all, and I'm honored to take his place at the podium. I would like to welcome everyone, our veterans, their families, distinguished guests, and the members of our community to our annual Veterans Day ceremony so that together we can honor and show appreciation to all the men and women of our military who have answered the call to proudly serve our great country. Even though we celebrate Memorial Day in May, on Veterans Day, and on every other possible occasion, we also remember those who gave their lives in service to our country. I know we have some veterans in the audience, and I ask that you please rise and give us a wave. Good night. Thank you all for your service. At this time, I welcome Rabbi Rona Shapiro of Congregation B'nai Jacob for the invocation.
We gather as a community today to express our gratitude to those men and women who have risked their lives for our freedom. May we who live in relative safety and security never forget or take for granted our debt to the men and women who have defended our lives, our liberty, and our democracy. We pray that the day will come when young men and women no longer need to serve on the battlefield, when young people will instead be able to dedicate their lives solely to teaching our children, building our roads and bridges, farming our land, healing our sick, helping those in need, and helping others from around the world to live better lives. May God watch over our veterans and their families. May they always receive the gratitude they deserve. May they enjoy the fruits of their labors. And may they rest peacefully at night, knowing they have served their country and all of us with honor and dignity.
Thank you, Rabbi Shapiro. Officer Lynch, please have the honor guard present arms.
Honor guard, attention, present arms.
Now I would like to invite our vocalist, Susan Antonazi, for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, who were so gallantly streaming, and rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Susan. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Officer Lynch, order arms.
Honor guard, order arms.
In Flanders Fields is a meaningful traditional poem written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, who served as a physician in the Canadian Medical Corps during World War I. Please refer to the reverse side of your program and join me, as we customarily do, in reading this poem together. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt along, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep to poppies grow in Flanders Fields. On every Veterans Day and Memorial Day, the town of Woodbridge remembers Private First Class Eric Suffreen, of blessed memory, who fell in Afghanistan in 2011. This year, the wreath has been placed out in front, and it stands before us at the monument out in front in honor of Eric's memory. I'm aware of and would like to acknowledge 5 Woodbridge veterans who have passed away since we last met on Memorial Day. James Morena, John F. Peterson, Richard Zitzer, Thomas Dolan, and Robert Harris. In honor of Lieutenant Bedworth, Private First Class Suffreen, and the millions of Americans who served our country, and for all those who gave their lives, please rise for a moment of silent tribute. Thank you, and please be seated. I would now ask Susan to come forward and present us with singing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, or spacious skies, or amber waves of grain, or purple mountain majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
I'd like to just take a couple minutes to share a little bit about the history of Veterans Day. The beautiful Veterans Memorial Monument located in front of this building was dedicated in 1994 in memory of Lieutenant G. Bronson Bedworth of Woodbridge, who fell in Vietnam in 1967. The monument's inscription summarized the meaning and importance of Veterans Day in just a few special words. It reads, "In everlasting tribute to the men and women of Woodbridge who have served the nation to preserve freedom." Today is Veterans Day, and as our monument tells us, this holiday honors everyone who served in the United States military since the founding of our country. It is estimated that over 50 million Americans have served in our military over the years. The United States entered World War I in April of 1917, 105 years ago, and the armistice ending that conflict took effect 17 months later on November 11, 1918, precisely at 11 a.m. This is why church bells are rung 11 times, and Americans traditionally meet at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month to celebrate this holiday. After World War I was finally over, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed that the first Armistice Day, later to be renamed Veterans Day, would be celebrated on November 11, 1919. Most states held parades and ceremonies similar to our gathering here in Woodbridge through the 1920s and 30s, but Armistice Day did not become a national holiday until Congress acted in 1938. After World War II, with the support of President Eisenhower, the holiday was renamed Veterans Day to include the 16 million Americans who served in that conflict. Its significance continues today as we recognize and honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. I would now ask Susan to please come forward again and lead us in singing God Bless America.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
It is my honor to welcome and introduce our first selectman, Beth Keller, Connecticut State Representative Mary Wheelander, State Senator James Maroney, to today's ceremony. At this time, I invite First Selectman Heller to the podium.
I'm vertically challenged. I have to move it in. Sorry. Is there a hum? Okay. But you can all hear me. Okay, thanks. Good morning. I want to thank our organizer and master of ceremonies, Barry Josephs, who does such an outstanding job every year, and I know he's missed this year, and he's probably very happy that he couldn't be here, but he'll be back in the spring. Thank you, Chief Capiello, for stepping up and helping us and run the ceremony. Also, thank you to Rabbi Shapiro, Representative Wheelander, and Senator Maroney, and our Police Department Honor Guard. This could not happen without the behind-the-scenes efforts of Carlos Torres and Mark Dupka. They're around here somewhere. And for also those at Town Hall, including Jerry Shaw, who helped arrange today's ceremony. Finally, thank you to all of you for taking time from your busy schedules to be with us today. This is a very, very important day as we pause to thank the men and women who have served in our armed forces. We all appreciate and are thankful for the safety and security our servicemen and women have provided for us in the United States of America, as well as for people all around the world. We know that Veterans Day began as a day to celebrate the end of a war and the hope for lasting peace. To quote Abraham Lincoln,
Quote, honor to the soldier and sailor everywhere who bravely bears his country's cause. Honor also to the citizen who cares for his brother in the field and serves as best he can the same cause. Our veterans help us keep at peace. My father and my grandfather were both veterans. It's been said that in the United States, the one office higher than president is a patriot, someone who serves and serves his or her country. Someone who loves and serves his country. There are many ways to be a patriot, and our veterans, by helping to secure freedom and justice for all people, are indeed true patriots. We ask so much of our men and women in uniform. It is only right that we remember to support and honor them when they come home. I would like to take this opportunity to remind everyone that while we pause to honor our veterans today, we do serve them here every day in Woodbridge. Jeanette Glicksman, our Human Services Director, is also the Town of Woodbridge's veteran contact person. Jeanette is available to our veterans and families who have questions about how to access services. As I close today, I will leave you with remarks from President John F. Kennedy, who once said, quote, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Unquote. On behalf of all the residents of Woodbridge, I extend our thanks and gratitude to our veterans and their families, and we must live by these words. Thank you very much.
I look down for a moment. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's an honor to be here and to serve this community. Veterans Day this year has a special meaning for myself and my family. As I've mentioned in the past, I have 3 younger brothers who are all combat veterans, and this past summer, my last brother, who was active duty, Steve, retired after serving as Command Master Chief of SEAL Team 4. We are incredibly proud of Steve, his twin brother Sam, who is an Army Ranger, an airborne Army Ranger, and our youngest brother Adam, who is a sergeant in Marines Infantry. We are all also very relieved that after over 22 years, we no longer have to worry about deployments and trainings. Thinking about how things have changed in those 22 years, I looked at past remarks made on Veterans Day and thought that these words still resonated with the commitment and hope and respect that we all feel today for our veterans and our active duty service members. And this is from JFK's Veterans Day address on November 11th, 1961 at Arlington National Cemetery. In a world tormented by tension and the possibilities of conflicts, we meet in a quiet commemoration of an historic day of peace. In an age that threatens the survival of freedom, we join together to honor those who made our freedom possible. The resolution of the Congress, which first proclaimed Armistice Day, described November 11, 1918, as the end of, quote, the most destructive, sanguinary, and far-reaching war in the history of human annals. That resolution expressed the hope that the First World War would be, in truth, the war to end all wars. It suggested that those men who had died had therefore not given their lives in vain. It is a tragic fact that these hopes have not been fulfilled, that war is still more destructive and still more sanguinary followed, that man's capacities to devise new ways of killing his fellow men have far outstripped his capacity to live in peace with his fellow men. Some might say, therefore, that this day has lost its meaning, that the shadow of the new and deadly weapons have robbed this day of its great value, and that whatever name we now give to this day, whatever flags we fly, or prayers we utter, it is too late to honor those who died before, and too soon to promise the living an end to organized death. But let us not forget that November 11th, 1918 signified a beginning as well as an end. The purpose of all wars, said Augustine, is peace. The First World War produced man's first great effort in recent times to solve by international cooperation the problems of war. That experiment continues in our present day, still imperfect, still short in its responsibilities, but it does offer a hope that someday nations can live in harmony. And with that, I just want to thank again the veterans today who are here for their service, their commitment and sacrifices made toward the hope of peace. We are all very grateful for you and what you have given our communities, our state, and our country. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you to everyone for coming here today. As the Chief mentioned earlier, Veterans Day, we honor all veterans. We honor anyone who raised their hand and said that I am willing to lay down my life to protect the freedoms and the way of life that I've come to love. Some of those veterans were lucky, like my grandfather, who signed up for World War II, and by the time his ship got out to the Pacific Theater, the war was over. And some of them, unfortunately, were not so lucky, like Private First Class Supreme, who paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can enjoy, as the rabbi said, the safety and security of our way of life here. So in some ways, it seems like one day, Memorial Day, where we honor those who have passed away, or the 2 days where we honor on Veterans Day all veterans, not just those who had passed away, are not enough. And I think when the Chief asked all veterans to stand earlier, that really underscores the point that currently only 2 to 3% of the American population are veterans. And it's been said that never before have so many owed so much to so few. And I think we saw that when there were several people who stood up, but not the majority of the room. So it doesn't seem like enough, but I'm here just to say thank you for your service and ask you to remember veterans, not just today, but every day. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. I would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to everyone who worked to make today's event possible. As always, thanks to Mark Bilka and Carlos Torres of the town of Woodbridge for their cooperation and good work. To Rabbi Shapiro, we're honored to have you with us, as always. To Jerry Shaw from Town Hall, our Human Services Director, Jeanette Glicksman, and of course, Crystal McKellar for their coordination and efforts. To our vocalist, Suzanne Fanati, thank you, and as always, your performance is remarkable. Thanks and congratulations to our elected state officials, Representative Wheelander and Senator Maroney. Thank you to our Police Department Honor Guard, Sergeant A.J. Capiello, Sergeant R.J. Scott, Sergeant Brian Pedalino, and to Officer Vincent Lynch, who is an Army veteran of the 101st Airborne Division and served our country in Operation Desert Storm. I would like to ask Rabbi Shapiro to come forward and lead us in the benediction.
We pray for peace. I want to share a poem with you written by the great Israeli poet Yehuda Amichai, a veteran of 4 wars, fought for the British in World War II, and then for the Israeli Army in 1948, 1956, and 1973. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first. Thank you.
Officer Lynch, please dismiss our men.
Honor guard, attention. Port arm. Left face. Forward march.
This concludes this morning's ceremonies. Thanks again to all of our veterans. And please remember that Memorial Day falls on May 29th of next year. Have a nice day.